See how many people jump on. I'll get started here, do a quick little live session, training session. See how many people we can get on Friday night. Gonna go over some knowledge right now. Gonna go over some good stuff. Gonna go over some good stuff right now. I was gonna record some videos, but figured I'd just go live. This is going to be a good session. Today, market moved. It was obviously non-farm payroll today. So we're going to talk about some important things on this stream. This will be a good training session from today's movement. Big day. I don't know if any of you guys caught any trades, but there's some good things to talk about from today's NFP. When we look at the data that came out, so when we look at these numbers, and then when we look at what the chart ended up doing, the dollar ended up falling. Gold pumped today. We're going to talk about that. It's also Friday, and since January, I'm going to show you guys on the chart. Since January, gold tends to pump a lot on Fridays. So let me know if you guys can hear me good. In the chat. And yeah, the market's moved. It was one of those Friday reversals. So today was what we call a Friday reversal. Remember that, Friday reversals. I'm going to show you that throughout this stream. Even price action. So gold finished the day strong. And when you look at unemployment rate, for an example, unemployment rate, the number that came out was higher than expected. Now, one thing is the unemployment rate is kind of like already high. But unemployment came out higher than what was forecasted. So with news events, you're always going to have a forecast, an estimated number, a prediction that's going to come out. Most of the times it's not the forecast. Like most of the times, the forecast and what actually comes out is a different number. Most of the times. Today's one of those days where you can see a negative actual. So these numbers that came out, how it impacts the dollar is important to understand, because you'll see many news events. You'll see NFP every month. You'll see different news events every month. Weekly, right? And depending on how the data comes out, depending on how the actual numbers come out, could result in some significant movement for the day. Today's one of those days where it's like you could see clearly how the numbers came out. And sometimes it's clear like that, where it's like you have unemployment came out bad. So we're talking about good or bad. It's bad, right? This is bad. Actual less than forecast is good for currency. So unemployment came out higher today. Bad. Employment change was worse than the previous month as well. So like in moments like today, there might be like something you could put together when you see this. You're looking at the charts are moving. There can be an effect Price is price. The market's moved how it moved. And I'm going to show you how you could have got 3 different entries. So I'm going to show you on this session how you could have found 3 trades. One would have been more during the news, like more in the beginning. But I'll show you also how you could have found 2 other trades even after the news. Like you might be looking at the chart right now, like, okay, obviously gold finished strong for the day. Friday reversal. Even if you didn't catch the immediate move, like if you didn't catch the beginning, there's 2 other entries you could have caught based off of what I teach, right? So based on the stuff that I teach already. There is entries you could have caught even after the market made some movement. Did any of you guys catch any trades today? Did any of you guys trade the news? Or did you just watch it? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if any of you guys anybody take any trades during the news, after the news. Did you see anything, or did you just watch it? Let me know in the chat real quick. Let me know. We got some people on. Maybe some of you guys traded this morning, NFP. It's not always a trading day. It's not always a day you need to trade, you know. It's like a really popular day to trade. Everybody wants to trade at, you know. It's probably I'm pretty sure it's the day that has the most trading activity in the month. So we're about to go over some good stuff here. Let me know in the chat if you guys took any trades. Let's see, slept like 2 hours. No trades, just watch. Got some buys. If it's way above expectations or below, can it shift? Yes, like, yeah, they can kill some stuff. Like, so it can be engaged because it's like, if you're looking at February's numbers, and these numbers, things get revised too. Like the numbers end up getting revised. Ask ChatGTP about that and stuff. Revised. Take that into consideration. So it's like previous. We're seeing drops from February with employment change. In this case, even though the forecast was this, the actual, technically speaking, is like when you look at some of the numbers, maybe a bit lower. Like what we're looking at, it's a drop from February. Month over month. This is significant. This unemployment rate, because it goes up. That's if anything, I think maybe the thing that adds more of that negativity. But it would be like if this stayed neutral. Let's say if the actual came out the same as it was forecasted for this, maybe there wouldn't have been as much. Like if the actual was greater than the forecast, that would be more positive. Let's say, like, but the previous, not necessarily, because look at it's about the previous. It's showing a drop from February. Like it would have had to be like positive, like green, way above the forecast. This would have had to come in, 4.3. Like still, even this, it shows 58 there, 92. Previous data, what it's showing us is a drop from February's numbers, month over month. Like sometimes, like not every news, there's news events like today where today was kind of those days where I was looking at it like, yo, this should go up. Gold should go up today, realistically speaking, based on the data. Do the technicals have that? It made sense. Dollar dropped because of it in the morning. Now the daily's kind of up here pretty high. Maybe getting ready to sink. It'd be interesting if this thing drops next week. What that does to gold. Right? If this thing's forming like a daily swing point. Got some buys. Watch trades up like 2 hours. Yeah, I don't know why. I slept a bit, but then didn't. And after this morning, I slept a lot. Like the stream that I did with the cells, I slept like I slept after that. I woke up, closed. I took like after this, and I was up. I slept when I was in cells. Sometimes like where is it? These buys I went over buys yesterday. After I went over his buys, I took a nap. Like I slept for like 3 hours, woke up, was in profit. So I wasn't looking at the market when I was in the trade. There was 3 hours I didn't look at price at all because I was knocked out. Woke up in profit. So I've been trading 11 years. That's when you trust your trade set. That's when you know your strategy works. If you can sleep on it. Like, yeah, there's been times I've taken L's, but I'm comfortable doing that. This is like the 7th stream, so I think this is like the 7th stream, including the inner circle, that I've done in the last like 24 hours. I've streamed on YouTube. You can see one day I've streamed on YouTube 4 times, and then I've also streamed inside the inner circle. It's like the 7th stream I've done, so collectively on all the streams I've gone over a lot of info. Too much to kind of backtrack on, to be honest. Like way too much to backtrack on. But there's some important things I'm going to bring up in this stream. About Friday. We're going to talk about Fridays. A little bit about news. And how you could have caught some entries during the news or even after the news. Can't talk about everything I've broken down this week. It's way too much. Especially in like the 4 streams I did on YouTube and then the inner circle. But this is a 7th stream I've done in the last 24 hours. Collectively, I think in those 7 streams, honestly, you could learn a lot of information from psychology, mindset, execution, confirmations, examples. Before non-farm guys, like you don't need news. If you go on some of my streams, you'll see I was breaking down these buys. There's one stream I broke down the buys in the inner circle before it happened. So most of these things, I'm like a lot of the information I'm breaking down in real time, showing you guys like examples even before the moves happened potentially. I caught these buys before NFP and then the sells, right? So even like you don't always need the news. You can catch trades before it, all right? That's one important thing to kind of just keep in mind. You don't have to feel pressured to trade the news. Like there can be moves before it or even like during it. You don't have to feel pressured. So today it's like in the beginning, even this morning, if you go back to this morning stream, a lot of people are asking about like my predictions for NFP. I did say I'm looking for buys, but like I wanted to obviously see price go down first. It ended up pumping up. Price ended up really pumping up. I really want to see price kind of go down first for the buys, but this was my first entry in gold. Like it moved on the news. It moved extremely bullish. Oh, this was what 13 hours ago. Streamed 13 hours ago, and obviously it pumped. Like and say, okay, I could have taken a trade before the news. I was even saying on stream, like if you're on that stream, I was saying like, we could probably take a buy before, but it's pretty risky, right? I'm gonna wait. What does market do? It pumps up, obviously, and it's like, yeah, we could have took an easy buy before. The chart looked like it. If anybody was on the stream, I was saying like, yeah, it looks like a buy. It's looking like a buy setup, to be honest. I was saying that. So it's like aggressively, maybe more risky. This is maybe that more risky before news scenario. If I see anything before the news, yeah. That's not the trade setups I'm going to be talking about on this stream. But maybe that's one of them. So there's four maybe ways. There's four ways you could have caught buys on gold today, really. But I'm going to show you three of them. This is obviously one of them. That was before the news. And I was even saying on the stream, like, yeah, like it looks like it could be buys before the news. This is why, you know. However, I said I'm just going to wait. Like, and that's what I did. And obviously, market pumped. So, me this morning, I said, guys, this is what I'm going to watch. And we'll see what happens. I said news came out negative. So we had that data. So it's like one thing, we have the data and maybe the way price moves. You know, we have that information. News came out negative today. Okay. Price moved extremely bullish. Took out a lot of these candles here. Like if you look at all the candles coming down, boom, up. So for me, it was like, let me wait for that first pullback. Maybe to like 5,100 or lower. And see if the market can hold this structure, right? And I was talking about this stuff live. The thing is, like, I'm not just going over something in hindsight. I was breaking this down live this morning, right? So I know, like, I think the best breakdowns are the ones I do live. It might seem like I'm talking about random things, but that's basically just my brain working, right? It's like my brain just working, like, yo, like this pullback. It's really just the brain working from repetition, recognition, right? Pattern recognition, structure recognition. When you repetitively, you know, beat on that over and over and over and over and over and over again, and seen stuff like this, for example, scenarios like this live in real time, and you've been there for them, it adds up, it compounds. So it's not always about like the holy grail strategy, like reaction, like seeing price, how it reacts even in real time. Like news came out negative, what did gold do? Pumped. We know that. So it's like, okay, if this is going to remain bullish for the day or for the time being, how can I get in? So let me look for that first retracement. That's really kind of all there is here when you're looking at that, right? It's like if we can form a bias around something, that's, you know, where kind of that conviction can get made of what should happen. If this happens, you know, this happened, so I'm thinking, okay, this is what the market should do. I'm thinking gold should go up. Let me see if I can, that first retracement comes in. You can see this lines up good because there is like an accumulation here. All here. So price does that initial pump. These are the lines from this morning. I kept everything on from this morning. That's why I'm doing this now. I was going to record some videos, but just doing this training live. Anybody can watch the recording here. If you look at price here, you have this like accumulation here. So I kept everything on the chart from this morning. You can see structure. There's structure here. Why? Well, look here to the left. This low that gets made, that pushes price up into this high. So there was accumulation here that broke up. Price pushes up. Realistically, it held the low. right? It held the low. And inside of that, price is pretty much in the final stage of accumulation right here. Right here, you can see some sideways consolidation. And what does it do? It drives out of that, but then it pumps up, right? So like when you look at price, like what am I seeing here? You know, this is what you gotta remember. This is what my brain's seeing. I think about like how price behaved, up move. If it's going to continue bullish, this is that first retracement. Impulse, correction, continuation. Right? And let me see if I can find it real quick. Should be able to. Might be in blueprints. I'll find it real quick. It'll take me like 2 minutes, so bear with me. But this is important. Once I find it, you'll see the same exact thing. Actually, I'll find this example. It might be in blueprints actually. Where did I post this? I have a photographic memory, so it's like might be in blueprints. Might be in blueprints, to be honest. Oh man, where is it? I'm gonna find it. That was temporary move. Oh man, where did I post this one? It's important with this. I posted it in Discord. I posted it in Discord in one of the chats. Where are you? I know you're here. I will find you. If I don't find it in 2 minutes, then I give up. It's in this chat. It's gonna be in this XAU chat. I'll have to look at it on my own and find it for another session. Damn, yo. I probably passed it by now. I'm just like scrolling, trying to fast find it. Didn't realize how much like stuff are in these chats. Like with news, you can get like that initial move. I've talked about this before, like the initial move. And oftentimes there can be continuations of that move. It's kind of what we've seen today. But it's like, what was the initial move caused by? Was it, you know, if we look at the data, initial movement. A lot of times that initial movement can confirm like the direction maybe for the time being or of the news. I've posted an example like this, a really, really clear example of this in one of these chats. Unfortunately, I can't find it right now, which sucks. Because I know it's somewhere, but yeah, it's like way back. It's got to be way back. Bump, bada, bump, bump. FOMC. Oh. I can't find it. Well, anyways, here you can see like accumulation. there was like an initial move created. You get the initial move retracing. And then a continuation of that initial move. This can happen on news events. I've brought this up before. Unfortunately, I can't find the exact example that I have like this, like word for word posted. It's somewhere in one of the chats in Discord. I'll dig through there. Maybe I can find it. But we've talked about this before. So yeah, news oftentimes creates, volatility. We talked about that. We know most traders want to catch that first pump, which is obviously a bit more risky, maybe hard to predict. Like if you're going for that first pump on the news, that first trade, it's win or lose situation really, unless you're good at really detecting it. I mean, I don't always go for that initial move unless I see something really clear and it's like, yo, I really think this is going to go up, or I think it's going to go down. I don't always try to predict the initial move of like what the news is going to do in the first 5 minutes. Because you can, like a day like today, you could see it obviously pumped. And still, like, there was potential to even get in after the pump on that first retracement. So the pumps or even dumps, they, the initial direction of the news, it can oftentimes create a trend for the day. Like today, what gold did. FOMC, and another news event that can tend to do that is called FOMC news. That's actually the example I was looking for. I have like an example I was looking for, and it was I think it was on FOMC news. So like that first retracement, like if news comes out strong enough, and maybe there's even like a catalyst, because again, look at unemployment rate. Right? Unemployment rate came out bad. Not a good unemployment rate, to say the least. In the sense, if unemployment rate goes up, that's negative. Like if unemployment rises, that's not good for USD. Anytime I've seen that, like what today did with price isn't necessarily like random. How it was, a stronger morning for gold with the news and even time of the week. Gold did pretty much like go down like most of the week. So why is today it's like what caused the initial move? You could tie in the news too, like because news, I think, because like if after years and years of seeing these types of scenarios play out, you could tie the news in, because if news came out positive, if this came out super positive and this came out lower, it would have done complete opposite. Like if someone asked a question before and it's like, if unemployment came out lower than the forecast, that would have been super positive, right? So it's kind of like a play like this. Like I was scrolling through and I found like a chart from a while ago. It's kind of like a play like this where you could literally see this pumps up first, looking for like that first initial pullback. And that thing ended up, this was good. Look at that. Chart breakdowns 101. It's like, look at this. You get that pump up in price after some like a good accumulation retracement. Things to wait for, right? Like today's a good example of like initial move created. Kind of like that. Like look here. Strong move created. First retracement. Looking for that first retracement. Today, an initial move. Remember that initial move. Yeah, I'm kind of sad I couldn't find it. Oh well. I'll find it on my own probably, but it's in the archives somewhere. It's in the archives somewhere. So that's one trade. First retracement, right? First retracement. I mean, market came down. It started rejecting here. It's like, again, that first retracement on the initial news move. Boom. Pumps up. Takes market into a higher high. At this point, it's recognizing like buyers are in control now. Like at this point, it's like buyers are in control. So it's like pullbacks. Pullbacks at this point should stick. Like pullbacks, they should stick. They should work. Pullbacks. At this point, it's like what the market showed, like completed itself. It held, it maintained the structure. What was going on that first pullback, that first retracement off the initial move. It all maintained, it all held itself. So at this point, it's like buyers, if the market's going to keep going up, pullbacks, they could be key. Like buyers could remain in control. So you can see you start to get another retracement. Right? You start to get another push down. Right after all that movement up. Now, that goes... Here, I'm going to go to this chart. So, like, after, again, like, how you would have caught that first trade is literally, like, how I mapped it out here. Is, like, waiting for that first retracement. And just trading that. You're trading what the market's doing, like, structure. How it's been delivered. It's like, in this instance, I'm waiting for that first retracement. I'm trading that first retracement and seeing if it can hold. If not, then maybe done for the day unless I'm more prepared to take another setup after. But that's what's really showing on the chart. And then after that, so again, like structure holds. After that, you get another retracement on gold, right? But where does that go to? That goes to like 51.25 here. You can see 51.25 area. And you're getting like a break and retest. Like you're above this high. Low. Market creates a higher high. So in essence, kind of like what happened down here. Initial move, retracement, boom, continuation. Next pullback. Market ends up sticking. Here you have 51.25. Almost touches it, pretty much does. You're getting like a break and retest here. So like in a condition like this, it's trading like a dynamic of like price is bullish right now, buyers are in control, probably because again news came out negative. Not to mention like they're gonna see buys on gold happen in the next 2 weeks. Like I know a lot of like there's been good sells, but one day or another, like today, look at what happened. You're gonna have days like today where the buy just comes one day where price just leaves. Like look how much today pumped up already in the morning. That's probably gonna it's probably gonna carry on into next week as well. But like first retracement comes into the previous high here to the left. You're getting that first retracement. You're starting to get some rejection here on the 30-minute candlesticks. You can see like these 30 minutes starting to reject, especially here these two in the middle. All right. You're getting rejection there. 1 hour even rejects a bit. Price is trading above, again, like I mentioned, this high. 51.25, it's near 51.25, so it's like using that. It came really, really close. Like, yeah, it didn't touch it, but still like above that price. It's still right near it. It hit 51.26, right? A little bit off. So it's still like using that in essence of like it's above that price, it could stay above that price. There's like technicals here to analyze. 30-minute, you get some 30-minute rejection candles. Boom. Like that's how you would have caught this next buy on gold in here. Stop loss at the low. I'm kidding. Like maybe stop loss halfway or under the low, wherever, like 200 pips. Talking about like, people ask me like, how do I make money trading? I get in trades. I execute. It's like you use the stop. Like if I'm entering here, I'm getting a good entry in the move that's gonna go up. I don't know if I'm like, who knows if I'm gonna enter here, but there's confirmation in here, right? There's confirmation in here to say, okay, price is rejecting this area, right? We've pushed up, we've pulled back. We also have negative news happen, right? Not to mention we're in the middle of a war too, so like gold will find some nice buys. But negative news as like a catalyst in that pullback we're getting that pullback, basically like a break and retest. It's like however like this is like, if you're looking for good entries, like stop loss is gonna be like, this is a good entry. You could have caught an entry here and you still would have had to use like a decent stop loss size, right? Like 200 pips, let's say. That might seem like a lot, but it's like, for me, I'm about getting an entry, getting in a market that could move, right? And that's exactly what this did. This ends up pushing up, right? And we are where we are right now, right? So that's, yeah, like that could have been potentially like the first way in or a second way in, you know, entering on that pullback as the market's pulling back in this area. Like obviously trying to enter at 51.25 would be best. It didn't quite hit that, so even a little bit above it, right? Still like a good pullback situation happening here. It's that second pullback. So in terms of waves, like the market made this move up, made its next wave up. So it's like first pullback, second pullback. And then, I mean, you do get another pullback that goes to like 51.50 if I'm not mistaken, right there. Like you do end up getting another pullback here. Right, like market makes these highs. Oops. If you look at this morning, for example, you had 3 pullbacks inside this market, right? You had this pullback, which was early on in the news, right? That's what we were going over. That first pullback. We were going over the potential of that first pullback earlier. So there was 2 more pullbacks after that you could see really stuck with buyers until the end of the day, right? There's 2 more retracements. Like we would call those retracements because the market was picking up with like bullish momentum. So, first retracement on the initial move, you know, initial news move, first retracement, that sticks, right? Trades into the last low, like when you're looking at the market. That first retracement starts rejecting here on a 5-minute. 5-minute candle starts rejecting there. 15-minute candle, whoops, starts rejecting right there. 30-minute candle has even slight rejection in there. It was crazy. Market spiked up and came right back down, and then created the same. Just created the move back up. So first retracement comes literally back down to the low, like it's testing this low too, and you can see here a market structure shift. So when you're looking at my charts from earlier, like if you look at my chart from earlier. It's like it all lines up. Like that's what my brain's seeing, right? When you're operating, when you're trading, when you're just trading something, right? Like, because when I'm trading on my own, it's not like I'm explaining things all the time to myself. I'm just trading what I see. It's not like if I'm trading on my own, not streaming, I'm not explaining everything to myself. Like, I'm not sitting there like, okay, I got this here, this. No, I know what I see, right? I know what's there, and that's just repetition, right? So, like, yeah, the market came back to this low. You can see a market structure shift if you really break this down. There's a lot going on, but in simple ways, like first retracement off that initial move, next retracement, right? Both come down to pretty much quarter areas. Here you have 50.75. Market starts rejecting there. Here you have 51.25. Comes really close. And then right here you have 51.50. There you go. Even if you look, that you got 50.75 down at the bottom. 5,075. 51.25. 51.50. So, like, first entries, like I was entering, I started taking entries on like this candle when it was dropping. So I was in some drawdown, but I was taking small entries, manageable drawdown for me. Like, yeah, I would be down pips, but for me, the drawdown was enough to handle, to be able to re-entry and know, like, okay, I'm still getting a good entry. It was this candle, I think it spiked up. Yeah, this candle I remember spiked up. So I was entering like in this area after it tapped, like after it even tapped this, right? I didn't get the lowest entry. I had entries at like 5,090, 5,095, 5,097, and then like 5,100. It tapped this. It was moving fast. Well, there was good entries to even catch in here. If you break this down and you really look at this, you will see this type of stuff happen time and time again. It pretty much happened, right? Same thing pretty much happens right here. If you look at price, whole numbers, 5,075, 51.25, 51.50. So like first trades could have been taken like in here. Right, stop loss underneath the low. Next trades, you know, near 51.25. It didn't hit, but you could have got entries on that pullback, right? It was making an easy retracement. Retracements, pullbacks, understanding what they could lead to. If the market's in a certain framework, like a context, like if it's in an uptrend, and buyers are in control, the pullbacks are likely to stick. Right? If buyers are in control, the pullbacks, they are likely to stick when you have like control like this that is formed. And a day like today is how it can happen. So retracements, pullbacks, understanding like the phase the market's in, watching pullbacks. Like once you've seen enough retracements happen, you wait them out. You wait for confirmations to strike, hold through. Like this is easy context of the market to understand. Like structure, direction. Realistically, like again, like I was saying, you have three opportunities that led, three pullbacks that led to opportunities. Like we've said before, someone said it in the chat once, not every pullback's going to be like the biggest opportunity, but pullbacks, are the things that can lead to opportunities. A pullback, that's potentially something that could lead to an opportunity, right? If you were going to catch any good buys on gold today, right, it was really on those pullbacks, those retracements. Even after the move, like I went over that first pretty much like movement on the stream today, earlier this morning during NFP, a little bit like this is during NFP when the market pumped, right? So like stages that can get in control. Like gold was going down the entire time here. Every single pullback there, like when it was dropping, every pullback led to a sell, right? Like every single pullback would be a sell, a pullback, sell, pullback, sell. Every little pullback until like this stage here, where the market started going sideways and accumulating. We'll probably see gold go up. I think gold will go up into next week. It does this a lot of Fridays. Fridays might be hard. Like it was a Friday reversal. Like most Fridays for gold end up, like if you look at the last Fridays, all the last Fridays since January pretty much. We'll go back a little bit here on the charts. Mark some Fridays real quick. There's been pumps like most Fridays. If you look at the last, this is the last month. No, almost the last month. Look at the last 5 Fridays on gold. They've all had a pump or had some strong movement. Even you go back, not every Friday. It's not going to be every single one, but there is some pattern to see here, recognizable. If you really look at it and you go back all the way to January. You can see like so. A lot of Fridays. Go back to the beginning of January and you'll notice a lot of Fridays have pumps on gold or finish the day. See how the day finished today? How the day has finished higher? The day has finished stronger. Go look at most Fridays since beginning of January. Not all of them. This one drops. But if I'm looking at, like 12, I think here Fridays. I think 10 or 11 different Fridays here. I can see 8 of them, 80% of them have pumped. Like today, look at today, how gold finished the day. It's about thinking of the probabilities even later. Like, if you know something happens usually in a certain way, you have to think kind of towards that. It's like, oh, I can look back on gold and see most Fridays it finishes strong. So it's kind of thinking that ahead of time. Because look at today. Gold finished the day stronger, higher. Understanding the probability of that, the likelihood tends to play out. So it's like my beforehand thinking is like, okay, if whatever price does start of the day, beginning of the day, I know it's likely going to finish the day higher, right? Or whatever it does. That's in terms of thinking ahead of time. Like I've been talking a lot about this Friday stuff. This isn't new. If you've been on the streams, what I'm talking about right now isn't new. Not every Friday does. I mean, most Fridays there's a little bit of a pump. I mean, not a little bit. Some there's a little bit, I meant to say. But most Fridays there's a pump. A lot with gold. I didn't start to notice this now. I started to notice this in the beginning of 2025. A year ago. Like over a year ago is when I started to notice this. If you go really study 2025 up until now, you'll see this a lot of times. So people ask like how I've been able to hold things or have an idea of what the market could do. It's kind of thinking ahead of time too, like a bit more forward thinking. Because like I know I've seen this enough times. Go start in 2025 and you will see this. You will see this happen enough times. Alright, I'm still here. I turned the camera off so you guys could see like maybe a bit more of the chart. Alright, so Fridays. If you go look, just the last friggin' 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Fridays. How many pump? Like, look at you guys should be able to see it. It's about thinking like, look at where the day has finished right now. The day, it was a strong day for gold. So every Friday, if like this is how, if we were to go backtrack, you would be like in this similar state right now. When the markets closed, it would be like, damn, the day finished strong. Like last week, if you're on Friday, this is how Friday finished last week. This is how the market finished last week. Look how the market finished today. Right? So think about that when you go back and you even look at these Fridays. Think about how the day finishes. It doesn't really give everybody an opportunity even to catch on if the market keeps pumping up after. Like if this thing keeps going up a bit more, it's hard to catch. Not really a probable. It's in terms of thinking about how these behaviors are kind of scheduled. They're not random. Family court, holy TMI, yo, TMI, you know? Inverted reversal. Oh, inverted, yeah, it can do those inversions. Yes. On 5, you can see them on different time frames. Like there's one here. Beautiful. Yes, it does. Like accumulations, wick off, inversions. Like yes, like gold tends to do these a lot. Head and shoulders formations. Here's like a bigger one for like a sell if you're looking at like, okay, here's a high. Last high that comes down to take a low, takes the low out. That's a head and shoulders like that. If you invert that, what do you get, right? You get like your classic like inverted head and shoulders formation. You invert that chart. Like if you were to look at like today, look at today inverted, you know, look at distribution, pump up, lower low, or you know, you look at it in a bullish, boom, continuation after that, buyers staying in control. That's like the perfect setup if you ask me. I wish the chart printed those every single time. Those are like obviously things to wait for. I'd be able to identify. Look at when price was 3,500. Look at the breakout. How the price ended up Friday. Crazy pump. Hi, can anyone teach me how to trade? Subscribe to the channel, yo. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. I know it's Friday night. And look, we're live. Going over some information. We've been on for an hour. I got to go to dinner with my girl. And I'm going to catch you guys maybe later or tomorrow. If you missed the beginning of the session, make sure you watch it. I just want to keep this training straight to the point on, you know, maybe how you could have got in today, some of the mindset today, but take into consideration the Fridays. Look at all the Fridays I've done. Go back. I guess you guys have something you can study tonight. Like if you go back and look at the Fridays, all of 2025, you'll see what I'm showing you right now. Gold tends to finish the Fridays stronger, kind of like where we are right now. And I, that's not random because I've seen it too many times to not be talking about it. Like I wouldn't be talking about it if it wasn't something that's like, yo, this happens. I've capitalized on this from thinking, from just the way of thinking or just understanding and seeing it happen enough times on the chart. There's a pattern there. End of the week, Friday reversals, right? We've often talked about those Friday reversals before. Go watch this weekend. If you haven't seen it, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We're about to hit 9,000 subs, yo. We're about to hit 9K. We're right away from 9K, yo. We're on the way to 10,000. Subscribe if you're new. Check out the videos if you haven't seen them. There's a video on news trading. Watch that video if you haven't seen it, but I'm going to wrap it up. If you missed the beginning of the session, watch it. We went over like today's market and some of the thinking behind it, but I gotta go. I'll see everybody probably tomorrow.